everybody. Welcome back to the Lundquist Real Estate and Appraisals Podcast. I'm Tisha, and I'm here with Ashley.
Hello.
Today, we are going to talk about all of the reasons why we love Wabash County and everybody should move there.
Yes.
For a small town, Wabash is kind of on point.
It really is. There's a lot more to do in Wabash than what it appears when you first enter Wabash.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I shop downtown all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of really cute boutiques.
Bella's is always popping.
Bella's is one of my favorites. Bluebird Boutique, another really good one.
Wood and Ivy.
They also do floral arrangements.
Yeah.
Some of the best, actually.
Yeah.
We have live entertainment, which kind of...
There's quite a few places around town that do live music.
Yes.
Like Braves does, I think, Thursdays.
Speakeasy, the 950 Speakeasy does all summer long.
Yeah.
I think in the winter they kind of bring it inside, but
Yeah. I've been to one of those. That was fun.
Yes. The reservoirs, we kind of overlook them because we grow up here.
Yeah.
However, I have noticed moving a lot of clients into the area. They're like, you guys are so lucky. Like, you have no idea how lucky you are to have the reservoirs.
Yeah. We don't even think about it, but yeah, they're pretty nice to have around.
Fishing, boating, skiing, swimming. If you're a thrill seeker and not in your right, no. There's a lot of people that cliff jump some of the cliffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Highly dangerous. I'm not doing it. I like my feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Personally.
But I'll go boating. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Honeywell Center is huge as far as live entertainment. Between Honeywell Center and Eagles Theater, the shows that they get in there are kind of unbelievable for a small town.
And they do all kinds of stuff. Like, I've been to, they do dance recitals there. I've been to 2 comedy shows there, which was super fun. They do plays. Like, they've got everything.
Yes.
And the Honeywell Center is a really nice thing to have.
And, I mean, it's not something that you find in a town our size. We're super spoiled by having it.
Yes.
And on Thursdays, during the summer months, on Thursday nights, they do free concerts out in the outside amphitheater. We have lots of parks.
Yes.
Bike trail. Lots of hiking trails in the reservoir.
Yep.
An over 65 exemption on your taxes. That is like incredible.
Yeah. Taxes was one thing that a lot of people I have helped when they were trying to move here, especially from out of state. The taxes were a big,
yes.
Wow. Yeah.
As far as like in the state of Indiana, I think that Wabash's taxes are probably a little high. But when you are looking at like Hamilton and Marion and Kosciuszko County, it's still way cheaper. And the tax rates that I've heard from clients moving from other states into Indiana, oh my gosh, unbelievable. I literally just had a client move back from Illinois and their property taxes for the year was like $4,000. And their new property taxes are like $1,200.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy difference for a lot of places.
Yeah. We've got some pretty good businesses that we have going on too. You've got all of the boutiques and all of that stuff. However, Ford Meter Box has been around since Jesus was a baby. And they are doing a huge expansion project this year. We've got the new fertilizer plant that is working on opening. We did finally get our new jail.
Yes. Yeah.
Got our new jail. I don't know. Wabash, I will never leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never leave. I'm going to be honest. And in high school, I was probably the one that was most likely to leave.
That was me too, and now I don't know. It's grown on. It's grown on me. I really like it. I think the location of Wabash itself is really good too because, a lot of people want like the mall and the bigger stores and that kind of stuff, but I like Wabash because that stuff is close enough that you can go, like my friends and I will take a Saturday and go over to Fort Wayne or Kokomo and go shopping, and then you come back and you don't have to be surrounded by like the big city hustle and bustle of it all. So that's one thing I really like about just the location of Wabash I think is really nice.
Well, I mean, you can be in Kokomo in 45 minutes. You can be in Fort Wayne in 50 minutes. Indy, hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on which part of it you're getting to. Chicago, you can be in Chicago in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So it is kind of centrally located.
Mm-hmm.
The museum. We have a killer museum.
Yeah.
Especially if you have little kids. They've got like this indoor play area.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's grown out of it, and it was a sad day.
It's still fun. They do have a lot of really cool stuff at the museum. I haven't been in a little while, but I think they do events there too, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, you can actually even like rent out their little conference rooms and that kind of stuff too. We used to do birthday parties at the museum, actually.
Really?
Yeah, you could rent it, and then you have the museum all to yourself, and then the little conference room area for like your cake and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, I didn't know we had as many ice cream shops as we did in Wabash County until a little bit ago.
Like, never gonna run out of ice cream.
I missed this. Now I'm gonna have to go on an ice cream tour.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite one. Well, I have like different things from different ones. So, but just in the city of Wabash, you've got Kelly's Ice Cream and White Rock.
Yep.
And then out in LeGros, you've got the Cold Stone or the Canal Creamery, which is amazing.
Yes.
Another big thing, speaking of White Rock, we've got the kayak and canoe trips through White Rock now. We've got some really good rivers to take some kayaks down.
Yeah.
I prefer the eel when I'm floating, as you call it. But there's a lot of people that are doing the Wabash now.
Mm. We used to do that all the time when I was a kid. Just go kayaking down the Wabash River.
Yep.
So much fun.
So, Ashley, what do you think is your biggest reason for never wanting to leave now?
I would say the community in Wabash. It's amazing, like all the stuff that we have, especially going on like downtown. Everybody kind of knows each other and everyone's super nice, and I just think the community of it all has convinced me, like, I think I want to stay.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, and I feel that Wabash County is that, quote, village.
Yeah.
Because everybody does kind of know everybody. With that, I'm going to go into the school systems a little bit. They are smaller. We're not going to offer 6 different languages for your kid to be able to learn at any of our schools. That being said, every morning that I drop my kid off at school, that school is filled with people that I either personally graduated with or their parents, or, I mean, it's kind of incredible how many teachers we got to move back home, if you will, once they got their degrees to teach within our school systems.
Yeah.
I love dropping my kid off every day and knowing that she's as much loved in that building as she is outside of that building.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the schools, even though they're small, they're pretty good for what they are.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good teachers, and all of them that really care about their students. And that's very important.
Yes.
Of course.
And with the kids, probably the biggest deal, because when I was growing up, we didn't have this. And I know my kid, every single First Friday is, Mom, are we going to First Fridays? So every first Friday of the month in Wabash, there's basically a downtown street. Would you call it street fair?
Yeah. We've got all the food trucks lined up and booths of like people do crafts and businesses are down there. I love First Fridays. I think they're so much fun.
There's a different theme every single month. Like this First Friday, we'll be lighting the courthouse for Christmas. We still have a Christmas courthouse lighting.
Yes.
Santa will be on the fire truck.
Downtown Wabash at Christmas time is my absolute favorite. I'm so excited for this Friday. You just go down to Modocs. We didn't mention Modocs yet.
Modocs is the number one reason why you want to live in Wabash.
Yes. That's just the top reason. You don't need any more reasons, just Modocs.
Coffee.
Yeah.
You don't need any other reason other than we have the best coffee shop that's ever existed. Yes, and we're totally spoiled by it. And if coffee isn't your thing, they've got Lotus drinks, which are amazing. Teas, like little lunch style stuff. You've got scones and muffins, and then chicken salad sandwiches, egg salad sandwiches, hard-boiled eggs. They do like a soup for lunch down there too, typically, I think.
And I think they change up their menu items quite a bit. They'll post them and have different things for the day. Like, I think I'm going to go to Modocs after we leave here. Right? Sounds so good.
Fridges of random soft drinks that you don't really see anywhere else.
Yeah.
50 East is another good reason.
Yes.
They have I love going there for lunch.
Yes. If you're a coffee lover, you've got options in Wabash.
Yeah. Modocs is still your number one reason to move to Wabash, though. Definitely.
Yeah. In 50 East, it's a little farther out to get to, but it's worth it. They've got all different kinds of drinks and food. I go out there at least once a week to get lunch because it's very good.
I would say for a small town, we've got some pretty amazing new options. Like I said, when I was growing up, we didn't have any of this stuff downtown. We've got the Eagles Theater completely remodeled. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You've got Charlie Creek Inn that is absolutely gorgeous. Their food is really good.
Yes.
And they have a wine shop and a candy and ice cream shop all in there. Moondog. That was an amazing restaurant to land.
Yes.
They're only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I believe. But incredible.
Oh, their food is amazing.
Mary doesn't know how to cook something that isn't good.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Market Street. They've put a lot of money into Market Street, and that's like probably I call it the survivor. It was the only place to go get a decent sit down meal for a really long time until Charlie Creek and Moondog opened.
Yeah.
4 Partners in Crime. They're kind of snacks and drinks, and that one's really cool. But I mean, we have a framing shop. We've got all kinds of stuff in Wabash.
Yeah. First Friday is a good time to go check all those out because everything's open and everybody's going in and out. Especially if there's a new store. That's one of the things I love about First Friday is if there's a new store, my friends and I will walk around and just go find everything that's going on. If there's something new, pop in and see what it's like. Yeah.
Going back to the community involvement, I think we take for granted a little bit our shop with a cop. I mean, that has been something that has went on for a very long time. The biggest fundraising event for our shop with a cop is actually a motorcycle ride.
Yeah.
We get hundreds of bikes that turn out for that. And then the cops take some of the kids shopping. But it's like if there is a direct need in Wabash, the community really pulls together to make that happen. I'm trying to think of some of the other charity events besides Shop with a Cop. So the community events, like I was saying, the Shop with a Cop charity ride is a huge deal in Wabash. And a lot of the local restaurants will get together and donate for the Spirit of Giving Christmas, which is pretty amazing. Then one of the biggest events in Wabash would be the Chili for Charity chili cook-off. It is actually the largest chili cook-off east of the Mississippi. It's pretty amazing to see.
Yeah.
It's like $5 a person to get in, and you can taste chili until you really literally don't want to taste it anymore.
Yeah.
All of the money from that cook-off stays locally in Wabash they pick a different charity every year that those go to. It's an amazing event. And it's been going on forever at this point. The fact that Wabash, Indiana has the largest chili cook-off on the east side of the Mississippi has always blown my mind, but it's always a great day.
Better have your parking spot picked out pretty fast because it's packed.
It is
There's
packed.
nowhere to
There were this was one of the first years I cooked in the chili cook-off for years, and this is one of the first years I've got to go as a spectator. And we had great weather this year, and there were so many people down there.
Yeah.
Yes. It's always a great event. Another one of the huge businesses in Wabash would be Bass and Bucks. It is one of the largest gun and archery shops around. And they're great. Josh that works out there is the only person that is allowed to touch my archery equipment. And there's a lot of people that feel that way because I know that there are people that will literally drive out of state just to have him work on their archery equipment.
Wow.
They just finished their expansion of their new building. It's even bigger than it was. I didn't know that was possible. But they also partner with the Whitetails Unlimited chapters. I'm part of the Wabash chapter, and we raise somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 for youth conservation programs every year. So that's another really big deal in town.
Oh, if you want all the Wabash history, you could just go to the Lundquist page and all of our trivia questions.
Yes.
The spooky ones from October. Those were so fun.
Yes.
I'm going to miss those.
Yes. Wabash actually does have a ton of history. That Wabash was a very colorful town back in the day. We own the first electrically lit city if you want to see the lantern, if you will, that did that, it's in the courthouse. You can go check that out. I forgot about the bookstore. We have a huge used bookstore that's pretty amazing. There are lots of sites around Wabash from our rich Native American history. We had tons of Miami, obviously. You've got Francis Slocum Cemetery and the Francis Slocum Trail, all of that kind of history that I personally love, kind of around every door. And you're right, our historians and Tisha or anybody else that actually knows are pretty forthcoming with all of those really cool stories. Where the Chili Cook-Off is held is actually called Paradise Springs, and it's where the treaty was actually made with the Miamis.
Yeah.
So while you're eating chili, you're getting to see a historical site at the same time.
Yeah. That's also where they have the Christmas lights up right now, too.
Yes. The trolley. We can't forget about the trolley.
trolley.
There's different events throughout the year that you can hop on our trolley and cruise around town.
Yeah.
In the trolley.
That is a lot of fun.
So a restaurant, it's cultural. The Dr. James Ford House, that's one of the historical sites that everybody's always like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Churches.
We've got a lot of churches.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically you can come to Wabash to eat, drink, shop. And then you're close enough to go to your big towns.
Yeah.
If you want to. The movie theater, the drive-in. We forgot about the drive-in.
Drive-in, yes.
We still actually have a restored, amazing drive-in.
Yeah.
It's only open during the summer months, although they did do spooky nights this year, which was kind of amazing. So it stayed open through October. We got a new haunted house this year.
Yes, the Nightmare Factory.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to go through that, but I heard it was good.
John went. I sat in the truck. John and his friend Sam went, and Amy and I sat in the truck. But we have a actual really cool, from what I've been told, haunted house in Wabash now. Yeah. So we are an old town with a plethora of old historical homes. We like to say we recycle homes in Wabash. However, that being said, for the first time in a very, very long time, we are actually set to have several new housing options in Wabash County. We've got Legacy, which is going to be one of the new home housing additions. It's right in town. You've got the new one out by the golf course. If and when we ever get to break ground on the old GDX site, we'll have that one. But that's extremely exciting for Wabash. I mean, I don't think that there's been any like new major builds like that since the 60s or 70s. Obviously, individuals will build, but we don't ever really have those big housing additions come into play. Riverwood, whenever that one was established, but that's pretty exciting having all of the new housing coming in. There's actually a couple spec homes that are built in both of those places at this point.
And they're pretty nice homes.
They are nice.
You can go drive out by them. They're pretty cool.
Lots of festivals. I mean, we've got the fair, but we've got lots of other festivals. Like the Rowan Festival is always one of my favorites. Rich Valley tenderloins. Doesn't matter which festival you go to, you have to get a Rich Valley tenderloin. The Kaufman's elephant ear cart has been around.
Yes.
For
I get an elephant ear every single time I see them.
yes. Yes. There's a lot of history and a lot of things that we probably don't necessarily, we're so used to having them that we take them for granted a little bit. All except for Modocs. I will never take Modocs for granted. If you guys can't tell, I like my coffee. I like it a lot. And a good cup of coffee is very important.
Modocs does it perfectly.
They do. We do have the nursery out at White's too. When we were talking about 50 East, in the summer months, they're actually a plant nursery, vegetable nursery, that kind of thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice place to go out to. We didn't mention the back where the cafe is out at 50 East. There's a whole gift shop.
Yes.
Right there in front of it too, which is awesome.
I shop there a lot.
Yes. I love the stuff that they have out there. It's always so fun.
Yes. It's kind of, Wabash has kind of turned into your adventure zone. Like, you can stay as remote as you want to, or jump in on the fun events downtown.
Yeah. There's really, for a small town, people always say, well, there's nothing to do. Well, I mean, if you stay involved, there's always something to do in Wabash.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Now, do I think that the kids are still like, unless it's First Fridays or the movies, yeah, I kind of get it, but you've got the bowling alley. I mean, you've got a lot to do with the kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
The pool.
We have a great public pool.
Yes, we do actually.
It's the Honeywell pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's just, unless I have to, I rarely leave Wabash anymore. Like, if I have to, I'll go. But it's definitely, especially in the last 20 years, it has changed and grown and thrived way more than I ever thought that it would.
Yeah.
Did you say that sentence again?
Okay. So, Ashley, is there anything else that you would like to point out as far as reasons to come to Wabash? We've thrown out all kinds of places, but
I think we've covered just about everything. I always go back to the community of Wabash. I mean, it's just great here.
It is. I would agree. Like, if little Johnny is throwing rocks at people's mailboxes, somebody is going to come tell little Johnny to stop throwing rocks at mailboxes. And then you're going to know before little Johnny even gets home that he was throwing rocks at mailboxes.
Yeah. Yep. That just about sums it up.
It is that town.
Yeah.
Definitely that town. It kind of reminds me, because I've been watching it so much with my daughter lately, it kind of reminds me of like the town from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, if you don't have anything else to add, I'm going to say if you've never been there and you're thinking about it, come check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. As far as any and all of my clients that I have moved in from out of state, they are super, super happy.
Yeah.
It's a little change of pace. It's not a fast, bustling anything for sure. But I had a lot of clients or people that would call in the office and they're like, I want to know, I want my kids to know what it's like to play in a creek. You're definitely going to know what it's like to play in a creek. Charlie Creek.
Yeah.
That's a great one. But it's expanded. It's grown without growing into a monster city. You're going to find boutiques like you're going to find in Noblesville, downtown Noblesville, or any of those much larger communities. Dining. There's a little something for everybody, whether you're wanting to fish or swim or kayak or canoe. Great tax rates, great schools, chili cook-off. We've kind of covered all of the random things in a really weird way, but all of the different things why we personally love Wabash.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have anything else to add, I think we're going to call it a day.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered it, just about everything. So,
all right. Well, thanks for coming and visiting with us today on Why to Live in Wabash. And I'll see you real soon.